All right, how's everybody doing today? So we've got ourselves a nice little mail time video. Just fun fact, this is a small collection of vintage cards, and this was purchased from the same seller that had those Yu-Gi-Oh booster boxes, or Yu-Gi-Oh, or Poking Your Mom, whatever you want to call it. This was the same individual who had some vintage Magic cards that also sent those Yu-Gi-Oh vintage sealed boxes also. So we're going to go through this stuff. I haven't really talked about some old cards in a while here. It's probably been about a month or so. So I at least want to kind of have a conversation with everybody. And I think a lot of people appreciate these. These are those nice longer videos, more relaxing, where we kind of talk about the state of the market, reserve lists, and what's going on. So that's what we're going to do here. And it'll be a good opportunity for me to actually sort these and organize them by color and everything. So it'll also give me some time. So first, Rudy, talk about the reserve list. What's going on in the old Arabian? The old ABU Four Horsemen set world? Well, not a whole lot, which is actually very, very positive. So we're going to kind of separate these as we go. Green, white, a lot of basic common cards here. Not really worth much, but there's still Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights bulk is still, in my opinion, still a very special thing. It was just funny because her Jackal is actually a rare in 4th edition. It's one of those cards where you open a pack of 4th and you go, ah, I got the Jackal. I know. It's kind of funny. Desert Nomads. You know, I didn't believe it was a thing until a couple people sent me messages saying, Rudy, I am obsessed with Desert Nomads, and I buy as many of these as possible. And I was like, what? People have sent me pictures of like 500 Desert Nomads because they collect them. Yeah, kind of a weird little thing. So, yeah, just going to kind of lay that out there. I don't really know if that's the best investment. I would probably pass, but you know what? If you look like Rudy right here, you do what you got to do, I guess. So, the most important part of this video, for those of you who just don't want to stick around as I ramble and talk and look at old cards, the number one most important takeaway today, everybody, is the vintage market is no longer, there's no panic selling anymore. There's not really any free falling. There's not any drama. The prices seem a lot more stable than they did from a couple months ago. So that's probably the most important part of this video for those of you who are just kind of curious on some generic information. And that's kind of a really big deal for collectors and investors out there who are looking to either buy these, have positions in these, or whatever you want to do. So obviously, Mr. Ubulete, obstacle course, Rudy playing in the ball pit. I don't know. Did I just say ball? I don't know. I don't know where ball pit. That's a giggity. So obviously, we know this card's going to get reprinted in the next 12 months. It's, what is it, like a $30, $40 card in near mint. I honestly don't think the price or anything's really going to change with this because the new version is not going to have the frame, the Arabian Nights, the artwork. It's just not going to have this original Douglas Schuler artwork. I just don't think it's really, and by the way, remember, just so you guys know, remember there's a light and dark variant. So there's technically 2 different versions of this Arabian Night card, just to remind everybody out there. So overall, I don't really think it matters when that card gets reprinted because Arabian Nights, no one's going to say, oh my God, my 4,000 abuletes, oh my, I'm going to dump them for a cheese pizza. I'm done. They reprinted it in 2021. The card has no purpose anymore. Like, people aren't going to do that. People who own these 93, 94 cards, they don't care about that. All right. Other thing, we got some of these weird old school kind of reserve list coin flip type of freets. Djinn of freets are always kind of the favorites from Arabian Nights. I still think, again, unless this thing does anything weird, this is just a reserve list set collector card, not really demanded for, but always going to have some value. Good old Shahrazad, Rudy, one of Rudy's all-time favorite Magic cards. Obviously, don't really have anything negative to say. I'm just surprised how cheap it was. Through this whole downturn of 2020, I saw these, like I said, buy lists on these things were like $100. Even eBay at the bottom. I saw eBay listings selling a couple months back during the peak of this shutdown, whatever has happened in the world. These things were selling for $150 to $200. Unbelievable how cheap those things got. Same thing, Serendib, very infamous card from my history and past, and obviously in the vintage world, but it's just the price has collapsed, man. I've had offers of people to sell me their play sets. I mean, I won't even pay $3, $4 a card for them at this point in the market. I think the buy list is down to like $150. I mean, I would probably buy these cards for around 200 range. That's about it. Oh my God, these things peaked. I remember GP Vegas 2018, I think it was. I think near mint ones were 500 to 600, and people were buying graded ones for 1,000, 2,000. It's unbelievable. So, boy, that brings back memories. All right, so down here we got some Ring of Rudies. We got the old R of R's. Obviously, this one you can see there is the 2 different brown framework printing variants there. don't know if you guys can actually see that in the camera. The rings are very infamous. Not really much to say about it. They're just cool. I like the artwork. It's kind of neat. But yeah, it's Reserveless Arabian Nights. I don't see much action in that card anytime soon. Obviously, the Pyramids card is that infamous. There was that dude, was it a year ago? I think, because I remember he contacted me, became a patron. I think he disappeared right after the whole thing. And he bought out the Pyramids and tried to do this whole thing, and the price skyrocketed from like, what was it, $50, $60 to like $200 or something. And now they tanked back down to like 50, 60, or 80. But I don't know. It was kind of silly. Nothing really happened out of that. Mountains. Obviously, the only basic land in Arabian Nights. Again, I always felt these mountains, and these are such a unique variant. I always thought these should be like $200 a pop. They're not there, but I do think one day that it still has the ability to climb there. So let's get to, we got next up, King Solomon. And yeah, check this out, everybody. Look at this King Solomon on the left. Look at that centering. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy looking? That is an off-centered. Almost have another card. Almost see a second card in that Arabian Nights miscut. And again, I know a lot of people are going to see this. Before we get any further in this video, please do not contact me. No reserve list cards are for sale. It's been that way for 4.5 years, and it's not changing. But thank you for all the contacts and offers to buy certain cards in these videos. I do not sell 93, 94 era cards. Thank you for the kind words, but I'm sorry, nothing is changing. All right, Jihad over here. This is on the Wizards of the Coast new inappropriate sensitivity list of banning I don't know what this specific is related to anything. But yeah, apparently this is like a sensitive ban removed. You can't even look at the picture or something. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat. I like these dudes. Like, look at the horses. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Like the horse. I like the outfits and like the armor and the spear. Look at the background, all the arrows in the air. Well, that's pretty sweet. But apparently it's like a bad thing. So yeah, so that's probably gone up significantly. Rudy's the Ghoul. Cabal's always been one of my underpriced kind of underdog favorite Arabian Nights card. But I think it's a U3. I don't even think it's a U2. So there are more of them printed. I think about approximately, what, 25, 30,000 versus around 18 to 20,000 or something. I don't see much activity in that anytime soon. We got some iffity biff of Freets. Obviously, the revised version was the misprinted version. This is one of the cheaper Freets. Don't see much activity in this nowadays. I don't think this is going to change. But, you know, I think one day that it'll just be a set collector card. Elephant Graveyard. Now, this was one of my original 2017 first expanded into, or no, I'm sorry, 2016 expanded into cards when I was buying them for about 20 bucks a card. And this was one of the first card on Arabian Nights. I remember just swooping in and buying about 100 copies. Still have them to this day because I couldn't believe an Arabian Nights land was like $22 on most places. I bought them for between $18 and like $24 depending on condition. It was stupid. So I think that's also finally adjusted in price. You know, Ernahani, Dr. E. I wish I had those kind of muscles, but although his face is kind of creepy, I don't know that. You guys think that face is kind of creepy? I do. This Dejin's kind of, you know, Chronicles reprint. We do have another miscut left to right off-centered here. I know a lot of people like that, real extreme miscuts and they collect it, but whatever. But not one of my favorites, miscut, this and that. We had to have 2 more drops to go to the vault here. Not much to say. I feel bad for the people who bought into these, and they were buying near mint raw ones for $600, $700, 18, 20 months ago, and then graded ones were $1,000, $2,000. Yikes. Yeah, so these, I would say, near mint versions, I wouldn't recommend paying more than maybe $200, $300 in this market. But I do think eventually they will go up. So if you're really long term, just looking at it as a park money or collect the set, then you know, do what you got to do, but just be careful on the price. City of the Bee. Also known as Sea of B or just the Brass Man here. Obviously, Chronicles reprint for white border. Been reprinted in Master Series. Been reprinted in different sets over the years. Even some, 5th, 6th edition era white borders. Obviously, the original with the original art, black border with the infamous sword, always holds a tremendous premium. I mean, City of Brass cards are solid $200 cards in my opinion. And I still think that's kind of cheap for original variants. Compared to white bordered and all the other new artwork, I don't think they're worth crap. I mean, even in the original Modern Masters 2013, even in the packaging, the new artwork for City of Brass, I thought it was, right? All right, City in a Bottle. Again, I feel City in a Bottle and that Silence Antiquities card that removes cards from certain sets. I always thought these were just the most underpriced cool things. So I do think those are really cool, long-term, important to have exposure and positions in by far. All right, what do we got next here? Mr. Ali from Rudy's Taco Stand. Left to right offset. Boy, I guess this guy must have pulled all these from the same batch. A lot of miscuts and the same. This has the same miscut as what? No, not King Solomon. What was the whatever. Serendib? No. Ernhan? Anyways. So Ali from Cairo, not much to say. Still stupidly cheap card for around that 1 to 200 range. I'm sorry. Bizarre Rudy. Yeah, look at that. Off-centered, right to left. I guess all these are like that. This must have been from the same batch, like the same booster box. Look at that. I'm not going to say anything about it. You guys know it's one of my favorite all-time of history of Magic cards. I still think this card is the most stupid, overpowered, ridiculous card in just Magic's history. I mean, it's like Ancestral Recall to me. This card is ridiculous. The fact that there's no come in the play tap, it costs no mana, there's no casting cost, there's no side effects. You literally put it down and you just start milling and cycling cards. Like, you literally tap this, draw 2, discard 3. You just start pumping. I mean, I still think it's the most ridiculous card ever. All right, so down here we got ourselves, we're going over to the old Queen and the El Hajijidrachi and Sorceressy Queenie with the creepy people in the shadows. I don't know. Both of these cards, I actually really like the old L-Man. I'll be honest with you, in 4th edition, I really loved this card. This was really cool. I was a big fan of this in my 4th edition days when I was a kid. I used to build decks around it. Love this card. I had a lot of fun playing that. Sorceress Queen, I was never a big fan, but a lot of people played it against me, and it was always a thing. I don't think those cards are going to do a lot of price movement anytime soon. I believe they're also like U3s. They're technically not really that rare. These three, we got the Majays, Aladdins, and the old Alibaba action over here. Majay, I think, is actually technically a U2 rare because coin flip, technically Djinn, but Aladdin and Alibaba, not really huge fans of the particular card. I don't really have much to say. I don't think there's going to be much action in it. The Blacksmith, I still think is hilariously how expensive it is, but again, there's not a lot of white protection from red cards. I think the protection from white, protection from black, because of the new sensitivity era we're in, I think these terms of protection from anything, that could be kind of an exiled thing too. So, Eye for an Eye, Abu Jafar, not much to say. Army of Allah, I think because it says Allah, I guess that this is going to be another one of those impossible, can't talk about cards now after 20-something years in existence, so whatever. Flying Men, still one of the coolest blue common cards ever. Merchant Ship, this is a weird one. I get some messages on this card every once in a while, like a couple people, and they're just like, Rudy, such a bizarre card from Arabian Nights. Don't you think this should be worth more or do something? It just has no real significant utility and playability. It just doesn't do a whole lot. I think that's it's just a set collector card. And I think that's why the value's kind of hindered on that. Island Fish, 4th edition reprint, unstable, no big deal. Just kind of some cheap Arabian Night cards. What do we got? Cyclone, that's kind of an important Arabian Night guy. Desert Twister, not really much to say. Now these guys, I want to comment on Deserts and Oasis, because everybody always says, Arabian Nights is like the best land cycle ever, which it kind of does. Library, LOAs, bazaars, cities, elephant graveyards, flipping, Diamond Valleys. There's so many good stuff. But Island of Wackety Walk, these two are the really cheap ones and easy to get. And I know there's a big controversy, or not really controversy, a big group of people that always talk about the Mirage, the two different variants in the art, the reflection of the Mirage thing. I'm not really into all that, but apparently it's a thing. Oasis is the cheaper one. This last little kind of artifacts here, these are kind of what I call the not common cards, but they're still kind of sought after from set collectors. And these are kind of the wild cards of Arabian Nights. None of these are super demanded for or really played. But, like the Sandals and Jeweled Bird. Well, this was Chronicles reprint. 4th edition Aladdin's Ring, which this card cracks me up. 8 mana. 8 more to activate. 16 mana! Just cracks me up. These rings and sandals and flying carpets and horses, and they're just kind of Arabian Night cheaper set cards. Not really much activity. I don't see much price movement on cards like that anytime soon. And of course, we got more deserts, more of the commons. Magnetic Mountain, I think that was even a Chronicles guy right there. More of the cheaper regular commons. And then Ruka Egg, that's one I get a lot of conversation about, the light and dark variant. It's not a rare. It's kind of, I think it's like a common or a C4 or a C, I don't know. It has its place and will always have value, but it's not going to be it's just not an investable, really major collectible card in my opinion. It's something people are always going to want some, but I just don't see, that card's not going to make you rich. It's not going to become some special thing. We got some more random commons, a little ring over here. Some more random, the merchant ships and unstables, the more armies, another eye. Kurt Ape is another one of those cards we get information on. People always ask me about that because it's such a symbolic card. And then a lot of people are talking about the Harambe thing, the fact the ape, the color of the ape, is this going to be a banned thing? I just don't know where the future's leading with all this stuff, everybody. I don't really know. I don't care. I don't pay attention to these things. All I know is, Arabian Nights, I love the product. I love the theme of it. I love how they drew the artwork and all these cards. And I love how I've got a self-portrait right here. It's just a lot of fun to me. So, and of course, I got to talk about it because everyone's going to ask me. Rudy, the Stone Throwing Devils is another one of the outlawed banned cards. This one I don't really know, but I was told that because then I checked the internet and the price went through the roof. I probably have, God, I don't even know, maybe 400 or 500 of these. I don't really know what's going on with this. Maybe this is supposed to be some wordplay or analogy or some euphemism. I'm not really sure. I just thought these were like little goblin evil guys throwing rocks at, like, it looks like bones or something. Sometimes those with the most sin cast. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be some sort of analogy or some sort of something from some historical thing. I don't know. But anyways, so apparently that's gone up significantly for whatever the reason. We got over here some more of the regular ones we already talked about. More comments. Sinbad, people ask about that. I'm sorry. That's not investable. It's just a set card. Sandals, bottle, same thing with these. More of those regular ones. So as you can see, not really too much dramatic changes in Arabian Nights. Right now, I think probably the biggest changes are going to be the news and the wizards and kind of the changing of what's happening with public perception, with artwork and names of here's more of the Stone Throwing Devils. Are there different variants or are these the same? I think these are the same. They look a little different variant. Like I said, this is becoming the new hot topic of just, with the Therese Nielsen, the artwork, the names of certain cards. I don't know if this is going to be settling out with, and it's just going to reverse itself as the years go by or people aren't going to care. I can't predict the changes in the culture and the way the economies and the worlds are going to change, but I would be very careful if you're looking to buy into cards like that because of how much the price is inflated in the short term. I think that's going to be something to be, here's a bunch more. God, Lee, how many are in this block? Was that 10 so far? I would be very careful on looking at building positions and cards that have spiked because of news-related press releases and events like that. When it comes to that, the jihad thing, the army, the stone throwing, I would be very cautious on picking or investing in certain cards like that because, this stuff could easily retrace because, everything moves in the life cycle of the internet and the life cycle of the focus of what's important or what is in the moment. That shifts very quickly. And in 30 days from now and, 1 year from now, anybody watching this video in 2021, the world's going to be completely different. And what's going to matter and not matter, everything's going to be different. And who knows what that's going to be. So that's it. Just adding more to the Rudy Arabian Nights Vault collection. Hope you guys enjoyed a nice conversation. Nice relaxing times today. As always, everybody be safe out there. Be respectful. And of course, I hope you learned something today. And have a great day, everybody. And I appreciate always the honor and privilege to entertain everybody. Thank you.